Bhagavan, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this interview today. I know that you've become incredibly busy, and just in the last days, you've met with celebrities from Hollywood, visitors from the Vatican, even the president of a country. During the last, actually just a couple of years, Deeksha has spread like wildfire. I'd like to start our interview today by asking you, how would you describe Deeksha to somebody hearing about it for the first time? What is Deeksha?
Deeksha is the phenomenon where the divine reaches out to man. And the person who's giving Deeksha is making himself or herself available to the divine, and he becomes an instrument. It looks like in the last few years, there's been greater divine intervention in human lives. And that is the phenomenon of Deeksha. Probably the best word to use would be the word phenomenon. It's a phenomenon.
As you know, I've been researching to write a book about this phenomenon. And so I've talked to people all over the world in different countries, different stages of receiving Deeksha. What I've noticed is people have very different subjective experience while receiving Deeksha. For some people, they have very powerful, energetic explosions.
Yes.
Some people can have actually seemingly unpleasant experience. Something arises that doesn't feel good. For some people, they say nothing happens at all, although they still notice that over time, their life changes. Could you explain the significance of subjective experience during the Deeksha?
I think there are basically three factors involved. One is the person receiving the Deeksha, and the other is the person giving the Deeksha, and the third is the divine itself. Because we have noticed sometimes people whom we thought would make very little progress, making dramatic progress. We have had instances of people sleeping through courses and become enlightened. So we really cannot comment on the person, you know. So it also depends on the person who's giving the Deeksha. And then there's, of course, the divine, which is the ultimate source of all this. And whatever the divine decides, it happens. We have had people whom one might call immoral people, or people who are not the right kind of people to receive Deeksha. But they ended up as the most transformed people. So there's really no way we could judge on those matters. But we can, as a rule, say that it depends upon how receptive you are, what your beliefs are, and what your conditioning is, and the quality of the person giving the Deeksha, and above all, what the divine chooses for the day and for the person.